Comrade, a word.
We're done. The Grey Host has found a foothold. Now the city is lost.
Not yet it isn't. On your feet, Sword Thane. We have work to do.
Yes, Princess Svana.
The Sword Thane. He was a constant presence when I was growing up. Always so strong and brave at my father's side. I've never seen him this distraught. I don't think Athlet was involved in my father's treachery. At least not knowingly. If he can pull himself together, I believe his loyalty is to Solitude, not my father. Regardless, find out what he knows about the situation inside the temple.
I didn't want to believe it, but the temple gates are locked. And without the sacred oil, I can't make more of the elixir. Talk to the Sword Thane and see if he knows what's going on in there. Nowhere close by. Only a High Priest of Arche can prepare the sacred oil. And the High Priest here in Solitude turned over his supply to Svargrim. Now it's locked in the temple. In retrospect, that was probably part of Svargrim's plan all along.
Well, the soldiers spoke true. The temple gates are sealed shut. If the Grey Host's forces are inside, I wonder what they're planning. Talk to the Sword Thane. Maybe he has more information.
I apologize for that display. Tell the princess... Tell her it won't happen again. You need to understand. I pledged my sword and my soul to the High King. We all did. And he betrayed us. Nothing good, I'm sure. The Grey Host appeared out of nowhere and cut down my soldiers. Only a handful were able to escape before they sealed the gates. Svargrim made us fortify the entryways. The bastard knew he'd lock us out. Not that I can think of, but what does it matter? Svargrim brought the Grey Host down upon us. He's bringing a Harrow Storm. We need to evacuate the city while there's still time. Some of us will survive if we flee now.
That's unacceptable, Sword Thane. If we can't get the sacred oil to make more elixir, then we have to stop the Harrow Storm.
Princess, we've kept watch. There aren't any witch pikes around the city.
Then you missed something. They needed the witch pikes for every other Harrow Storm they summoned.
Of course. Blackreach. The Grey Host must have gained access to the temple from beneath the city.
They could easily hide the witch pikes underneath our feet.
We know the Grey Host has been using Blackreach to clandestinely move around Western Skyrim. Why not launch their attacks from there?
Then we're going back to Blackreach. If the witch pikes are there, we'll destroy them.
Blackreach? Suddenly every legend and camp story from my youth has returned to haunt us. While you and the others charge into the damn abyss, I'll prepare the city. We'll do what we can to keep the people safe. I'll rally my remaining soldiers and organize the city guard. We'll get everyone into the Blue Palace and defend them from there. I know it won't protect us from the Harrow Storm, but we'll be able to hold off the Grey Host if they decide to attack. And you as well. Find those damn witch pikes and destroy them before we're all turned into mindless husks. Or worse. And keep the princess safe. We need her.
Yoren sent me with a warning for Solitude. Now I'm about to march into the starless depths of Blackreach to try to avert a massacre. How do I keep getting myself into these kinds of situations? I thought you knew me better than that. Taking on the impossible challenge, beating the unbeatable foe. This is what I'm good at. So yes, I do have to do this. And we're going to win. We have to. Svargrim. To cast his lot with the Grey Host, become a vampire, threaten his own people with the Harrow Storm. It's madness. One thing's for certain. We have to stop him. One step at a time. First, we make our way down into Blackreach. Then we find the ritual site. It must be right beneath the city. We smash witch pikes and kill as many Greyhost bastards as possible. After that, we pray to Kyne and hope for the best.
My father. A vampire. He sat on his throne, pretended to mourn for my mother, and said he had a plan. But all the while he was preparing the city for the Grey Host. He's worse than a monster. He's a traitor and a liar. I know. It's just... Look, we were never close. Not really. But he's my father. My king. What about you? Could you do it? Could you confront and maybe even kill one of your parents? An honest answer. And so much like my own. But does my indecision put the people I'm sworn to protect in even more jeopardy? I need to think about that. I'm going to do whatever I can to stop the Harrow Storm and save Solitude and its people. After that, we decide what needs to be done about Svargrim.
As a junior member of House Ravenwatch, I never expected to be in the thick of things like this. I have to say, it's a tad overwhelming. Am I looking forward to going back to where Singolis experimented on me? Not even remotely. But I want to see this through to the end. I need to. The Grey Host can't summon the Harrowstorm without performing their ritual. And we know that requires witch pikes, so there's that. Plus the usual assortment of coven witches, vampires, and werewolves, I suppose. Nothing we can't handle, right? I had hoped to secure the sacred oil, and make enough elixir to distribute throughout the city. But we're running out of time. Our best bet now is to find the ritual site beneath Solitude and stop the Harrowstone before it's unleashed. You're absolutely right. Especially after we found evidence of undermining down there. All I can say is that we were focused on other things. Let's go and save the city now, all right?
It's a long shot, but it makes sense that the Grey Host would attack Solitude from below. Let's get down there and stop the Harrowstorm. My axe is thirsty and it craves those vampires' black blood.
Enough talk. Let's enter Blackreach and find the ritual site. I won't let my father and the Grey Host destroy Solitude. I simply won't. It must be right beneath our feet, or close to it. From what we've seen, the witch pikes need to be in close proximity to the locations where the Harrowstorms strike. Of course, finding our way underground, it won't be easy.
That's ominous. And, unless I miss my guess, it's directly under Solitude.
Did you know there was a castle down here? Right underneath Solitude? It's disconcerting to think about, to say the least. Lyris has been scouting while we waited for you, and she just got back. Talk to her and see what she found out.
That's Greymoor Keep. House Ravenwatch has been investigating the place, but I haven't heard anything from our operatives as of yet. I suggest we proceed with caution.
That's our target. The ritual site must be somewhere inside that horrid structure. I scouted the area before you arrived. It's full of Grey Host forces. And from what I could tell, Svargrim and Rada al-Saran are both inside. Not so fast. If we rush down as a group, they'll be on us like a snow bear on a horker. You go ahead. Try to cross the bridge to the main entrance. It's well guarded, but you're more than capable. Or you could try the alternative. There's a sluice gate in the outer courtyard, tucked away against the keep's eastern wall. The few patrols in that area can be avoided if you're stealthy. Opening the gate requires a key, but that should be simple enough to find. You know your strengths and weaknesses better than I do. Play to those. But whichever path you decide, move quickly. We need to find the ritual site and deal with the witch pikes before they unleash the Harrowstorm on the city. Cross the bridge or use the sluice gate to get into the inner courtyard. Then find the keep's side entrance east of the main stairs. I'll stay with Svanna and Finn. Make sure they don't get themselves killed. We'll meet you inside as soon as we can. That's a good question. I didn't see anything when I scouted the exterior, so the witch pikes must be somewhere inside the keep. I expect that once we find Svargrim and Rada al-Saran, we'll also find the ritual site.
Stay calm, stay calm. Lyris knows what she's doing. As long as we stay by her side, we'll be all right. Won't we? Oh, never mind me. I'm just trying to come to terms with the plan that has us rushing headlong into a fortress full of Greyhost warriors. What? Of course I do. I need to see this through to the end. The same as you and Svanna. The Raven Watch doesn't leave a job half done. Besides, if I quit now, what Zingalis did, he'll win. Now, let's go before I forget everything I just told you.
Lyris takes command of a situation so easily. I wonder if she can teach me how to do that. Anyway, do be careful. We'll stick close to Lyris and meet you inside.
Nice of you to join us.
I don't understand. What am I supposed to do with these flasks?
If we run into trouble, throw one of them at the source. Then get out of the way.
I'm not sure what's in these flasks, but Fen told me not to shake them, or drop them, or breathe on them too hard. Let's get inside and find the ritual site before the Harrowstorm begins.
Fen and Svanna weren't as helpless as I imagined. Still, it took all my skill not to draw the entire Grey Host down upon us. Let's get inside and look for that ritual site. We need to destroy the witch pikes or Solitude is doomed. We're about to enter the very heart of the Grey Host, and that's what you're thinking about? Get your head in the moment. We'll need you at your best if we're going to save Solitude.
As I understand it, a vampire called Lady Yesenia controls Greymoor Keep. She welcomed the Grey Host and has been working with them to undermine Western Skyrim. The very stones of this keep. I sense something. We need to be on our guard. According to the Raven Watcher's research, no one actually owns the castle. Powerful individuals claim it from time to time, but the keep endures. Lady Yesenia is just the latest to occupy its halls. Why she's working with the Ashen Lord? Who can say? A feeling, like the very stones have been infused with powerful magic. It seems familiar, but it's also intense. I need some time to sort out and make sense of what I'm detecting.
Split up and find the ritual site. We need to disrupt it.
Split up? I suppose that makes sense. I'll go with our friend here.
We've seen some amazing things in Blackreach, but this castle, it's beautiful and disturbing at the same time. And it's full of Grey Host warriors, so be careful. Now take Fen and see if you can find the ritual site. Do we have a choice? Time is running out and this place is too big for one group to search quickly. Our chances get a whole lot better if you go one way and we go the other. Just watch each other's backs. We don't get to try this twice.
Kyne's breath, this place. Nothing in the Blue Palace even comes close. Who built it and why? The wealth alone! Is that how they tempted my father? How can you ask such a question? I need to understand why my father betrayed my mother and our people. Why he turned away from me. If we don't figure that out, it could happen again. Any one of us could be swayed by promises of wealth and power.
You heard Lyris. We need to find the ritual site. I'll go with you. If the Harrow Storm will be as large as Sfargrim claimed, the ritual site must be equally enormous. It shouldn't be too difficult to spot. The structure extends all the way into Blackreach's ceiling, placing it almost directly below Solitude. It stands to reason that the ritual site will be on the keep's upper levels, closer to the target of their Harrow Storm. So, we need to go up. Hello. This looks important. This book? I recognize the handwriting. It's Singallus's. It's more of his research. Harrow Storms, witch pikes, netherroot brew. How it all works together for the benefit of the Grey Host. This might be something. I just need to skim through these assumptions and incantations. What's this? Instructions on the placement of runes throughout Greymoor. All the way to... My gods! This entire tower! It's a witch pike! The magic I sensed earlier. It was familiar because it's the same magic used in the Harrow Storm rituals. Don't you see? This entire keep is the ritual site. They turned the tower into a witch pike. But at the scale, it's inconceivable. I'm not sure we can destroy this tower. We need to keep going. Find a way to disrupt the ritual. But I think I understand what they're doing. Zingallus found a way to release the Grey Host from Cold Harbor by using the Harrow Storms. The Harrow Storms steal life energy, and use it to pull the souls of the Grey Host out of Cold Harbor and into the Grey Reliquaries. It's quite ingenious. How they reincorporate, though. It has something to do with those stone husks, I think. Oh, most certainly. Perhaps even a way to reverse the effects of the Harrow Storms and restore the Harrowed. If the notes are complete, it would just require study, experimentation, and time. Unfortunately, we lack all three of those at the moment.
There they are!
Lyris, Svanna, I think this entire tower functions as a witch pike.
What? Fen, how is that even possible?
The energy! It burns!
That's my father! This way!
Pain is part of the process, Sfargrim.
It's exquisite! My master!
Once you are attuned to Greymoor, the storm will be yours to command. Rise, Sfargrim, and unleash my storm upon Solitude. Then the last of the Grey Host shall be reborn.
The Ashen Lord. He turned Sfargrim into the heart of his Harrow Storm.
They're moving higher up the tower. We need to follow them! This place... it makes my skin crawl. But we need to keep going. We need to find my father and stop the Harrow Storm. You mean we're running around inside one of those awful things? That's deeply disturbing. And also kind of brilliant. All the more reason to find my father and put an end to this threat once and for all.
There's no time. We need to ascend the tower and catch up with Sfargrim and the Ashen Lord. I'm still trying to make sense of what we saw. Rada al-Siran was attuning Sfargrim to the magic imbued in this tower, giving him command of the Harrow Storm. Obviously, the process involved a great deal of pain. The key... Yes, I see. You just may have hit the nail on the head, my friend. Come on, let's get to Sfargrim before he unleashes the Harrow Storm upon the city.
You and Fen take these stairs. Svanna and I will go this way.
There's no time. We need to ascend the tower and catch up with Svargrim and the Ash. Look, a grey reliquary. It's massive. Just like the storm they planned to unleash on the city.
And so the thorns arrive once more to prick my thumbs.
A barrier.
And Rada al-Saran?
Rada al-Saran, the Ashen Lord. Whatever he's doing, it's powerful. I've never seen anything like it.
That's Rada al-Saran. But where's my father?
That bastard's right in front of us, but he might as well be in Windhelm for all the good it will do. Talk to him. Distract him. Fen and I will try to deal with the barrier.
Your persistence begins to annoy me, mortal. You killed my beloved brother and sister, Singalis and Ulfra. I freed them, and you sent them back. Back to the hated Moloch Ball. I will see you suffer for that transgression. As much as it would please me to flay the flesh from your bones, I have more pressing matters to attend to. But know this. As I felt each death, you shall feel it when the Harrow Storm takes every life in Solitude. You shall feel it when you fail. Bold words, but futile. Svargrim rises, and the Harrow Storm with him. Once the attunement is finished, they will be unstoppable.
What happened? What did that damn vampire do?
He's merging the power flowing through the keep with Svargrim, giving him control of the Harrow Storm.
Then you must undo it. I'll stay and help. Lyris, you and our friend keep going up and find my father.
Rada al-Saran. He's treating this entire structure the way the Ice Reach Coven treats the Witch Pikes. But he's added a new element into the attunement process. Svargrim. Maybe I can unravel the spell before the attunement is complete. I'm not a mage, but I can try. Go with Lyris. Find Svargrim. If this doesn't work, you'll need to stop him before he unleashes the Harrow Storm on Solitude. With a storm that big, they'll have more than enough power to resurrect the Grey Host.
I'll stay with Fen. Help him break the Ashen Lord's spell. It may not stop the Harrow Storm, but we have to try. You and Lyris search for my father. If we fail, you need to be in position to do whatever is necessary. Am I? I'm not sure of one damn thing at this particular moment in time. But we need to do whatever it takes. Risk anything to save Solitude. Now go. And may Kyne go with you.
Come on. Svalna's plan is sound. While they attack one front, we attack the other. With any luck, one of us will figure out how to stop this coming storm. That energy. They're waking up. Get ready to fight. Keep moving. Don't let them surround us. Come on, we're nearly through. A dead end?
We weren't able to stop the attunement spell. It's just getting stronger.
That tower. It must lead to the upper levels. I need time to get that door open.
Everyone, protect Fen!
Got it.
Good job. Through the door and to the upper levels now. Hurry!
Now, we just... The whole keep. The shaking is getting worse.
goddamn magic! Give me something to hit!
The magic! It's Al-Saran! The attunement is almost complete.
We need to find my father. Lyris, take Fen that way. We'll go the other.
The power pulsing through the keep. It's getting stronger. I think the Harrow Storm is imminent. We need to find Svargrim, and fast! I'm not sure. I don't have the skills necessary to unravel the Ashen Lord's ritual. The only way I see to stop the Harrow Storm is to cut out its heart. I think we need to kill Svargrim.
The air. It tastes like copper. Just like it did at Kilcreath and Carthald. The Harrow Storm is coming. We need to find Svargrim now. We split up, just as Svanna suggested. Take different paths to the upper levels and make sure he doesn't slip past us. If I had to lay down a wager, I'd say we'll find the High King at the top of this structure, provided we reach it in time.
Oh, do you feel that? The hairs on the back of my neck are standing on end. We're getting closer to my father, but the Harrow Storm is coming. I know. He probably had a hand in my mother's death. And he apparently willingly sided with the Grey Host and became a vampire. We're going to have to kill him. But that's not something I ever thought I'd need to contemplate. Patricide. Thank you, but let's see what happens when we get there. I won't shirk my duty, my responsibility. But he's still my father. You understand that, right? Enough of this. We need to find him now.
The attunement is complete, Svargrim. You and Greymoor keep are one. The power! I am unstoppable!
We need to hurry.
I leave the harrowing of solitude to you, little king. Remember your oath to me.
Rada Al-Saran is leaving. Why? So high up, but still far beneath the ground.
You abandoned me in our moment of triumph? What game do you play, Rada Al-Saran?
Game? I gave you power. If you can't conquer Skyrim, the fault is your own. Now ascend to your Tower of the Wolf and unleash my most potent Harrow Storm. The Grey Host is counting on you, little king.
This place is connected to Castle Dower. How long has my father been planning this?
Hold, friends! We followed the booming voices. Where's Svargrim?
Interesting. Lyris assumed the Grey Host was preparing to attack, but it's just as possible they're relocating their forces.
Fair enough. Friends, lead the way. Let's put Blackreach behind us and follow these tunnels to Solitude.
There's no time to lose. We must stop my father.
Svargrim's gone up into the city. We'll have to stop him there. Oh my.
What is it now, Fen?
Oh, nothing. Just don't look down. If my calculations are correct, this tunnel will take us to the Temple of the Divines. From there we can slip into the Castle Dower and the Tower of the Wolf. Get to the surface and make our way up to the Tower of the Wolf. Then do whatever it takes to keep Svargrim from calling the Harrow Storm down upon the city. Child's play, wouldn't you say?
These tunnels. How long have they been here? Is this why my father sealed off his precious tower? To hide them? Svargrim has much to answer for. Much to answer for indeed. Rada Al-Saran not only turned my father into a vampire, he merged him with Greymoor Keep. We should be thankful that the process has taken as long as it has. I don't think we have much longer, though. We need to reach him before the storm breaks.
We're close to the surface. You can feel the fresh air. I'm pretty sure. I think this is how the Grey Host forces were able to sneak into the Temple of the Divines and take control of that location. Go fast, but try to be stealthy. Maybe we can surprise them like they surprised the Sword Thane's soldiers.
These tunnels look freshly dug. The Grey Host. Harrow Fiends. Is that what became of the herald Svargrim brought to Castle Dower?
Harrow Fiends, corralled like warhounds about to be set loose.
Those Harrow Fiends. Stacked up like warhounds before being set loose on their prey. Such close quarters is driving them into a frenzy. Let's hope that pen holds.
I can't believe those Harrow Fiend creatures were once regular people. It's horrific what's happened to them.
These tunnels. How long have they been here? Up ahead. That's the temple's undercroft.
Is that Princess Anna?
Harrowstorm. It's begun.
Look, above the Tower of the Wolf. The storm's only partially formed.
My father's up there. Open the gates and let's go.
But the Harrow Fiends below the temple. If they escape into the streets.
You and I will keep that from happening. Take the princess and deal with Svargrim, partner.
Yes. It's the only option. Let's go. My father is at the top of the Tower of the Wolf. That's where he's calling the storm. We need to get up there. There's a door in the wall below the tower. We need to reach that door and fight through any Harrow Fiends and Grey Hosts that try to get in our...
Behind us!
The Harrow Fiends! They've broken loose!
Get to the tower and stop Svargrim. We'll hold the gate.
I'm with you, my friend. Up the stairs.
Come to bear witness to my ascension. Radha al-Saran has given me power beyond anything you can imagine. Behold!
My father really has become a monster. Let's end this, one way or another.
No! How is this possible?
Why would you do this to our people? That was for Mother. For Solitude. And for every soul in Skyrim. Your ambition, your greed, look what it led to! We need to hurry. My father betrayed everything to aid the Grey Host. With his death, Solitude is saved. It's done. We killed my father and ended the Herostorm. The city still stands. Skyrim still stands. Although the Tower of the Wolf may have been damaged beyond repair. No, of course not. My father was the High King of Western Skyrim. I always thought he had the best interests of our holds and our people in his heart. But there was a darkness there. Jealousy, bitterness. He wanted to control all of Skyrim. For Svargrim, yes, I think it was. As for Rada al-Saran and the Grey Host, I am not entirely sure what they're after. Enough of this. I need to get to work. With my father gone, someone has to pick up the pieces and restore the holds. First, on behalf of Western Skyrim, take this with my thanks. We would have been lost without you. Then, rest. Check on our friends. Injuries must be tended to, buildings repaired. Other wounds will take longer. We'll have more to do soon enough. Whatever Rada al-Saran and the Grey Host were planning, I think the worst is behind us as far as Western Skyrim is concerned. With Svargrim dead, their grip on the holds comes to an end. Not officially. At least I don't think so. I feel like the whole world's crumbling around me. But the city's still standing, so that's something. I'm more worried about our friends. We left Lyris and Fen to hold of a horde of Harrow fiends. Hopefully they were able to hold the courtyard and keep those monsters out of the city. You go on ahead and check on them. I need to collect myself. Solitude needs Princess Svanna now. And I'm not quite ready to be her. Thank you. Help them and anyone else as best you can. I'll do the same. Once you're done with them, I'll find you and we can figure out what to do next. Gods, I hope so. Haven't we dealt with enough already? I need to see what happened firsthand. All the suffering and pain my father caused. I can't undo it, but I can make amends. Or at least try to.
Tell me truthfully, Lyris. How much of this blood is mine?
Not enough to be worried about. So, is it over? What happened to Svargrim? And where's Svanna? A parent's betrayal cuts deeper than a sword. But Svanna's strong. Stronger than she's been given credit for. And Solitude's going to need that strength in the coming days. If you told me the tavern rat we met at the Lonely Troll would become my choice to lead this land, I'd have called you mad. Then again, my king's a skald, so what do I know? Come on, there's probably something productive we should be doing. Last I heard, Sword Thane Uthlet was gathering everyone he could at the Hall of the Dead. Head over there and see how they weathered the Harrow Storm. I'll take care of securing Castle Dower. As for Fen, you might remind him we need a lot of elixir. We did our best to hold the Harrow Fiends inside Castle Dower, but nothing short of stone walls were going to keep those monsters from pushing through. Seemed like everyone I killed was replaced by 2 more. Almost didn't, We were nearly overrun before Fen went wild. I've never seen him like that, snarling and showing what a true vampire can do. Took the Harrow Fiends by surprise and we routed them. I did have to thwack him to clear his head, though.
You did it. I shouldn't be surprised. But things were looking rather bleak before the clouds parted. We held the gate as long as we could, but the Harrow Fiends were a flood of claws and teeth. Once they burst through, Lyris cleaved through them like a scythe through wheat. But even she couldn't stem the tide. I'm not really sure. I kind of went wild. Let out my inner beast, as it were. I was rending and slashing. Then Lyris whacked me with the flat of her blade. At least that's the last thing I remember. Not my finest hour, but we survived. The Sword Thane gathered people in the Hall of the Dead. Go check on them while I pull myself together. This whole ordeal has been a lot more strenuous than I'm accustomed to. Then I'll get to work on the elixir and a cure for the Herod. Sadly, I don't think there's any hope for them. Their life energy was sucked dry, turning them into feral beasts. Restoring them is beyond my capabilities, I'm afraid. At least with the Herod, they're not so far gone as to be a lost cause. As soon as we produce enough of it, yes. We saw how it protected Svanna. Now, where did I put my flask?
Find out if everyone in the Hall of the Dead is all right. I'll make sure Castle Dower is secured.
Good to see you aren't raising mugs with Ismir just yet.
We saw the storm break, but we heard nothing since you departed from Blackreach.
I regret we didn't throw a parade to welcome you back, but I'll cheer enough for 100 souls if you tell me you put that backbiter of a High King to the sword. But what of Svanna? Is she? That's good, but a daughter shouldn't have to kill her own father. Svanna has my support, for whatever that's worth. She's going to need all the help she can get in the days to come. Not until we hold a moot to support her claim, and we need more than a single Jarl for that to occur. If Svanna proves herself as the acting Jarl, they might look past her father's failings and make her the queen, eventually. We can settle the matter of the crown when there's kingdom enough to rule. What remains of the holds are still ravaged by the Harrow storms, and I doubt we've seen the last of the Grey Host, for that matter. None good, but none bad either. My wife knows better than anyone how to care for our people. I trust she and my Thane to protect and care for Morthal in my absence.
We seem to have survived, thank the gods. I thought for certain we were all about to witness the end of the world. No thanks to Svargrim, damn his eyes. After you and the princess went off to Blackreach, I gathered whoever we could, and made our stand here in the Hall of the Dead. I'm just glad we don't have to be permanent residents. Far fewer than I feared when the storm began. Thanks to you and the princess, with the storm over and the Grey Host driven from Castle Dower, my soldiers will get the city back into shape. As long as no one else attacks us in the meantime.
They're here! They're at the gates!
The Grey Host? I thought we were done with them for now.
Not the Grey Host! The Skald King, with an army from the east!
What treachery is this?
To the gates. We'll give the Skull King a proper welcome, one way or another.
Reachmen from the west, packed from the east, monsters from below. This city's cursed!
Svargrim was right to fear you envoys from the east. That either makes you a fool, or it makes us fools for trusting you. I'm not in a trusting mood, but I hope you're right. Let's go see what the Skald King wants.
What should I make of this timely visit? Has Yoren finally decided to attack? The work of the she-giant, then. But did she call for him to aid us in our hour of need, or to deliver the killing blow? Let's see what words the poet has for us this time.
Stand down, you idiots! We come in peace.
Partner, could really use your knack for diplomacy right now. Speak to the Skull King before we start a war.
Sure save me from fools and prophets. Will no one properly greet a weary traveler?
Go on and talk with this eastern loudmouth before there are 2 empty thrones today.
So this is the Skald King? He's not the prancy dandy I expected. But if he wants a fight, we will give it to him.
Good to see you. Now work your magic before I have to teach these Western Nords some manners. It's as much a surprise to me as anyone. I'll admit my last report was pretty bleak, and I haven't had a chance to send another since we rescued Fen. But I never advised Yoren to march into Solitude. His grand gesture is supposed to be a show of support, but Yoren's underestimated how much the Westerners distrust him. Damn bards and their lofty ideas.
You don't look like one of these Western milk drinkers. Tell them we're not a damn invasion, we're here to help. Maybe you can tell me what's going on. So the rumors are true? Svargrim joined the Grey Host? I knew he had ambitions, but to throw away his humanity like that, it's inconceivable. Svargrim once told me that he would die before welcoming me to Solitude. I suppose he was right. That's why I sent Lyris here in the first place. I'm not the king of these holds, though. I can't do anything if they refuse my help. Svargrim despised me. He would never accept my aid. But Svanna... here she comes now. Let's see what she has to say.
We have no need of help that involves welcoming your soldiers within our walls.
My walls, Jarl. My father may have been willing to slap aside the helping hand, but I'm not. Permit me a word with your envoy, Skald King.
I haven't seen Princess Svanna since we were children. She's changed much since those days. I saw her once, a long time ago. There was some brief moment in my childhood where it seemed like reconciliation between our homelands seemed possible. Might have been a dream. It vanished just as quickly. I think it wasn't long after my father became High King. I only remember a foggy day of children's games with the princess, a joyless feast, and a swift departure. It might have gone differently if our parents joined us making castles in the snow.
Thank you. For holding the line, I mean. I'm ready to do what I should have done a long time ago. To do what my father never could. I'll speak with the Skald King. There's one more thing I'd like you to do while I entertain our guests. We saved Solitude, but our war with the Grey Host is far from over. We need Fen's elixir more than ever. With that, and King Yoren's help, we might just push these monsters back into their grave for good. Check on Fen's progress, please. That depends on Fen. If there's anything standing in his way, let me know, and I'll do everything in my power to get him what he needs. Fen is with Old Mjolnir at the Mages Guild. When you're finished with him, join me in the courtyard of the Blue Palace. I'm going to hold a moment of remembrance for this city. We all need a moment to mourn what we lost. I'm going to invite the Skald King to join us. If the people of Solitude see him bow his head along with the rest of us, they may not care about the divide between the East and the West.
Did the princess say something about an elixir? Windhelm will provide whatever resources are necessary to produce as much of an elixir as possible.
I should remain with the Skald King. I trust you can handle Svanna's request without me.
I was not expecting Princess Svanna to be so commanding. I'd heard... well, I'm glad that not all the rumors I've heard about the State of Solitude are true.
So we're to bow our heads with the Skald King? Perhaps the poets prepared a dirge.
Clasping arms with Easterners. There's been enough death for one day.
Ingenious. A rare thing to find an elf with the makings of a clever woman.
Despite what my kin might proclaim, it's not all in the blood. Ah, good, you're here. We've made a breakthrough.
I have seen many things in my time, but never could I have predicted I would soon train adepts of the Mages Guild in the arts of my ancestors. This is an institution of elves. They know nothing of the soul of the world. Here, magic is a thing to be measured and weighed. Mages know. They do not feel. Necessity and a hope they can learn. If we're to brew enough elixir for everyone in the kingdom, it will take all the herb grinders in the holds. Here at least they know how to use a mortar and pestle.
I was just discussing a theory with Mjolnir, and it seems like we're very close to turning this elixir into a true restorative. A cure. Singolis's research on the Netherroot showed me just how it weakens the connection between a body and soul. Thus far I've been able to inure a person to the root, but now I'm certain I can use that knowledge to heal those weakened bonds. Well, it is just a theory at this point. There's a lot more testing and experimentation to be done before we can produce a viable antidote. Weeks, optimistically? I know. We can't simply put things on hold. Mjolnir and I have a batch brewing right now, and materials to keep producing for another day. Ingert's promised us a steady supply of Arcase oil, but that's not our limiting factor. We know enough about Singolis's refinement processes to replicate his methods, but we still need a source of Netherroot to do so. Tell Svanna that if she can keep us supplied, we can produce enough elixir for all the holds in a matter of weeks. We can ransack Greyhost stockpiles, or mount an expedition into Blackreach. Otherwise, it would take decades of work to produce a proper crop. After we get the elixir squared away, we'll turn our attention to curing the Herald. Indeed. As I surmised, the Grey Reliquaries contained the remains of ancient Greyhost warriors. They served as a connection to the souls trapped in Cold Harbor. Using the energy from the Harrowstorms, the souls were pulled into the stone husks. I believe the stone husks are incubators of a sort. The physical forms of the Grey Host are reincorporated within the stone vessels, through a mix of Singolis's alchemy and sorcery, and the magic of the Ice Reach witches. When whole, they burst free.
Gah!
I was hoping you'd return before we began. Tell me you've got good news. I'll feel a lot better delivering a speech about healing and hope, knowing that we're on the road to recovery. What did Fen have to say about the elixir? Not the best news, but I'll take it. So long as we have enough to protect our soldiers, we have a fighting chance against the Grey Host. I'll go to the Undergrove myself, if that's what it takes. Now that would be cause for celebration. If he can really bring back even a fraction of those we lost to the Herostorms, I'm willing to try. That's all I needed to hear. We should begin the ceremony before the crowd grows more restless. Nothing fancy, just a traditional Nord wake. To mourn and celebrate those we've lost, and cherish the lives we still have. I'd like you to join us. None of us would be here to sing dirges for the dead or celebrate the living if not for you. I certainly wouldn't be here, ready to lead my hold. You've supported me since I started down this path. I'm honored to have you here at the end. Sons and daughters of Skyrim, we have the honor today of remembering the dead.
Honor to the fallen!
Sons and daughters of Skyrim, our trials were fierce, but we are still here.
We stand and we remain!
Now, we raise our voices to tell Sovngarde of the coming of the worthy dead, and to tell the world that the Nords are still here! We are still standing!
The fallen now march home to hallowed halls, to join our ancestors in boundless drink and song and brawls. Let sound the horns, let peal the bells, let loose the ancient hymn. We will remain until time ends, we children of Skyrim.
I can't think of a more fitting send-off for my father than Nords of both kingdoms mourning side by side. Skyrim may be divided, but at least our honored dead are united in Sovngarde. Yoren, Redharn, and I need to form a plan to distribute Fenn's elixir and push back against the Grey Host. And acquire more Netherroot, it seems. There's a lot to be done, but I'm surrounded by good people. I trust we'll get through this together. I can't leave everything to you, you know. Well, I probably could. But even Greymoor took a rest now and again. Let us shoulder the burden for a while. I'm sure I'll need to call on you again soon enough. I don't know. It's not important, not right now. What matters is rallying the people against the enemy. Our real enemy. If that means seeking the crown, then I'll do what needs to be done. Sovngarde is a place for the honored dead. Svargrim gave up his seat in the Hall of Valor when he made his pact with the Ashen Lord. Wherever he is, I hope he regrets how he got there.
I'm glad to be done with this. Diplomacy and investigation aren't my favorite pastimes. They seem to suit you, though. You stepped up to the task better than I could have hoped. I'll be staying so long as Yoren's here, or until I can persuade him to send me after Rada al-Saran. That leech owes a lot of blood to us, and I intend to squeeze it out of him. We have to find him first. Whatever his plans were after sacking Solitude, we haven't uncovered them. With any luck, the Skald King will send me on a raid of the Grey Host, and I can beat some answers out of a few of them. Count on it.
I hadn't had a moment to honor the fallen of Morthal since you came to my doorstep. Kind willing, they made their passage to Sovngarde. When things are settled here, Hjalmarch has weathered these storms better than Hafingar and Karthal. If we can keep the kingdom from complete collapse, it's worth a few weeks away from my home and hearth.
Princess Jarl Svanna reminds me more of the Queen every passing moment. We're in good hands, I think. I'll pledge myself to her, if she'll have me. I was fool enough to follow Svargrim as long as I did, so it's more than I deserve. He did, but I was by his side day in and day out. If anyone should have seen what he was becoming and put a stop to it, it was me. I owe a lot to Solitude for my failure. If Svanna allows me to repay it, I'll be glad.
My heart goes out to these people. We are no strangers to conflict back east, but none of our holds have been ravaged by the kind of devastation brought by the Grey Host. We are fortunate that you stopped them. So I've heard. The princess has come a long way from the girl I met so long ago. And I've changed as well. I'm not quite as obnoxious and close-minded as I was when my father first formed the Ebonheart Pact. At least I try not to be. If the princess remains in charge of the Western Holds, I think the chances of true reconciliation are good. My father will certainly do everything he can to make that happen. And so will I. Princess Svanna, she's become a very impressive woman.
In their own way, the people of Western Skyrim are as strong as the Nords of the East. Even after so much suffering, they still stand against the howling wind. We shall do everything within our power to help them recover. Blood alone does not make one worthy to rule a hold, let alone an entire kingdom. The princess will lead for now, but many questions must be answered before the Jarls crown a new ruler of Solitude. That's what a moot is for. If Princess Svanna agrees, I want to bring more of my people from Eastmarch to help restore Solitude and the Western Holds. My retinue is too small to deal with everything. We need more hands. All I can do is to offer my aid in good faith. Whether they decide to grab my hand or to slap it away, that's up to them. Despite our differences, I love this land. It's as much Skyrim as my beloved Eastern Holds. I would not see it suffer. Today, no, the time isn't right. As for the future, who can say? Svargrim was never interested in finding a path to reconciliation. Princess Svanna isn't a father, that much is clear. So I suppose I can hope.
After everything I've seen, I can no longer place my faith in Meridia. But I refuse to abandon my friends. We will attempt to seal the temple and purge the corruption. If it were up to me, I would leave it in ruins.
I could not have said it better myself. Princess Svanna will make a fine ruler. Of course, some may choose to blame her for her father's misdeeds, but I will seek forgiveness from them. There have been enough divisions of blood and feuding. It is a new day. This is a time to mend rifts and forge new bonds.
We made it through, if barely. When the clouds began to gather over Castle Dower, I feared I'd have to witness. Thank you for stopping it. I don't know that my heart could bear another Carthwatch. The rest of Carthold fared as poorly as its capital. The hold has been laid to waste, its people dead or scattered. With so few left to rebuild and resettle, I fear the Reachmen will come to claim it long before the Nords set roots there again. I have already pledged myself to Svanna. I will serve as her court mage. I hope to counsel her better than I did Jarl Ulfwen. For now, I've used my status in the Mages Guild to solicit their aid in producing the Harrowstorm elixir.
The elixir has started being distributed. That should protect the holds from the Harrowstorms. My compatriots from House Ravenwatch are already on the trail of Rada al-Saran. Somewhere in the Reach, I think. They'll send word when they know more.